Imagine walking onto a college campus and a researcher hands you a massive sandwich board sign that says, in big bold letters, "Eat at Joe's." They ask you a simple question: will you walk around campus for 30 minutes wearing this sign? You're free to say yes or say no. But here's the real catch. Before you give your answer, you have to estimate what percentage of other students would agree to wear it. This exact study was conducted by social psychologist Lee Ross in 1977. What happened? The students who agreed to wear the sign estimated that about 62% of their peers would also say yes. But the students who refused, they estimated that only 33% would wear it. Both groups were completely convinced that they represented the overwhelming majority. They couldn't both be right. This is the false consensus effect, a cognitive glitch in human psychology where we drastically overestimate how many people share our beliefs, values, and behaviors. We live our lives under the absolute illusion that the rest of the world thinks exactly like we do, and it is costing us more than we realize. The anatomy of the glitch. Why does our brain do this? Why are we so bad at reading the room on a global scale? It comes down to 3 hidden psychological drivers. First, there is the availability heuristic. Our brains are naturally efficient. When we try to determine what most people think, we don't look at national data. We look at our immediate surroundings, our friends, our family, and our colleagues. Because your circle generally agrees with you, your brain mistakenly uses them as a perfect blueprint for all 8 billion people on Earth. Second, there is ego protection. We want to believe we are normal, rational, and correct. Believing that the majority of society agrees with us validates our self-esteem. It makes us feel safe. And third, we have the modern amplifier, the digital echo chamber, the algorithm's trap. If the false consensus effect was a spark in 1977, today's internet is jet fuel. Every single piece of software you interact with online is designed to show you more of what you already like. If you love a specific niche perfume, your feed becomes flooded with fragrance collectors. If you hold a specific political view, your timeline fills with people validating that exact perspective. Your brain looks at this curated feed and thinks, wow, look at all this evidence. Everyone thinks this way. But it's a manufactured reality. The algorithm filters out the dissent, turning a tiny minority opinion into your entire digital universe. You aren't seeing a consensus. You're looking into a mirror. And this is where the bias turns dangerous. Because when you believe everyone agrees with you, your perception of the people who don't becomes completely warped. The dark side and the othering effect. When Lee Ross ran his sandwich board study, he asked a second question. What do you think about the people who gave the opposite answer to you? The responses were shocking. If a student agreed to wear the sign, they looked at the people who refused as stuck up, rigid, and completely abnormal. But if they refused to wear the sign, they looked at the people who agreed as idiots, attention seekers, and weirdos. This is the hidden cost of the false consensus effect. When you firmly believe your view is the baseline for human sanity, anyone who disagrees with you cannot simply have a different perspective. In your mind, they must be flawed. You assume they are uneducated, malicious, or completely irrational. This bias destroys nuance. It shatters public discourse. It causes us to make terrible business decisions because we assume consumers want what we want. It causes relationships to fracture because we assume our partners should just know what we mean. Escaping the echo chamber. So how do we fix a glitch that is hardwired into our biology? We can't delete the bias, but we can actively override it. Next time you find yourself thinking, how can anyone possibly think that way? Take it as an alarm bell. It means you've fallen into the consensus trap. Force yourself to find the smartest, most rational version of the opposing argument. Seek out people who don't share your taste in art, your views on society, or your lifestyle choices. Not to argue with them, but to remind your brain of a fundamental truth. Your experience of the world is just one single data point among billions. The world doesn't think like you. And honestly, that's exactly what makes it interesting. Stay curious, question your certainties, and stay in flow. And click that subscribe button.